Malaysia Thailand to boost development in connected regions. Petronas to take immediate action on diesel shortage. Salam Malaysia Madani, I'm Shuhaida Arifin and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. Malaysia and Thailand are committed to expedite the Sadao Bukit Kayu Hitam Road project and the Golok River Rantau Panjang Bridge project. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said these projects will accelerate development in southern Thailand and the northern Malaysia Peninsula. In his Facebook post today, Datuk Seri Anwar announced that the joint commitment was established in his recent meeting with his counterpart, Suritra Tavisin in Phuket, Thailand, on Tuesday night. He said a special joint committee at the highest level between the two countries will report on the progress of the projects and agreed upon matters by the middle of next month. The Prime Minister revealed that Suritra and himself also touched on several important matters, including issues related to Malaysia-Thailand tourism. He also noted that Prime Minister Suritra expressed Thailand's willingness to jointly promote tourism in Phuket, Langkawi and other northern areas of the peninsula jointly, considering the sudden increase in Malaysian tourists to Thailand. The Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry KPDN said Petronas is taking immediate action to address the diesel shortage at its affected stations within 24 to 48 hours. Minister Datuk Armizan Muhammad Ali confirmed that the issue is being addressed and that the ministry was in communication with Petronas. He said supply issues with Petronas have been successfully resolved and Petronas is actively ensuring additional supply within the next 24 to 48 hours. In a statement today, Datuk Armizan said the ministry is in constant communication with Petronas, of which he had personally spoken to their management. He said the issues were resolved following a discussion involving his ministry, the Finance Ministry and Petronas. Petronas Dagangan Berhad PDB today announced that it is facing a diesel supply issue affecting some of its stations nationwide. The supply problem said the company is expected to continue until this Sunday. Malaysia Airports Holdings Berhad MAHB network of airports registered 9.6 million passengers movements in November 2023, reaching 83.3% over pre-pandemic levels. The airport operator said the total passenger movements for the network of airports were driven by the international sector, which registered 4.9 million passengers. The figures also showed a sustained monthly recovery rate above 89.5% over 2019 levels since July 2023. The domestic sector trailing at 4.6 million passenger movements, reaching 77.6% of 2019 levels, partly due to airlines' expansions to the international sector and the unexpected decline in domestic capacity from mid-October. It said the international and domestic sectors depicted 2019 trends at 52% and 48% market share, although traffic is still recovering. It added that international and domestic passengers movements registered 3.4 million and 3.2 million passengers, an increase of 51.8% and 8.8% over November 2022, respectively. MAHB said the continuous traffic growth in November was partly due to the introduction of 4 new services from KLIA to the United Arab Emirates UAE with 4 weekly flights. On a related matter, the Malaysian Aviation Commission MAVCOM has revised upwards its forecast for passenger traffic to 84.5 million and 86.5 million for 2023, surpassing earlier projections. The Commission also anticipated total passenger for 2024 to exceed 93.9 million. MAVCOM said Malaysia's aviation sector has experienced robust growth in passenger traffic post-COVID-19 COVID-19 pandemic, reaching 69.9 million in the first 10 months of 2023, and the impressive growth has led it to revise its 2023 forecast. The Commission earlier projected air passenger traffic to rise between 40% and 52% year-on-year in 2023 to reach between 74.6 million and 80.8 million passengers. MAVCOM Executive Chairman Datuk Seri Saripudin Kasim said the growth in passenger traffic highlighted the ongoing recovery of the aviation sector in Malaysia. The upsurge is expected to be driven by increased domestic and international travel, particularly to China and the ASEAN region. Coming up next, strong fundamentals and improving economy helped support local currency. The ringgit swung like a yo-yo in 2023, but the country's strong economic fundamentals and improving economy helped support the local currency from weakening further against the US dollar. At the start of the year, the ringgit had performed promisingly, riding on the optimistic view of economic reopening post-COVID-19 amid the anticipation of a less aggressive US interest rate hike cycle. However, as the months passed by, the local currency succumbed to the continuous US monetary tightening, and as the year came to an end, the local currency slipped 5.4% versus the greenback to close at 4 ringgit and 60 cent plus on 26 December from its first closing level of the year at 4 ringgit and 30 cent plus per US dollar on 3rd January 2023. Bank Negara Governor Dato' Abdul Rashid Ghaffur noted that other regional currencies also depreciated against the greenback, primarily due to the US monetary policy path and concerns about China's economic outlook. Despite the uncertain ringgit performance in 2023, the local note has remained resilient as the country wraps up the year. Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli recently reportedly said that the local currency is expected to strengthen in 2024, driven by several factors, including the government's fiscal discipline, better global economic growth, and a clearer US interest rate outlook. Now, in a related development, Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad Chief Economist Muhammad Afzal Nizam Abdul Rashid noted that the US Federal Reserves delivered a 525 basis point increase in the federal funds rate FFR from March 2022 to July 2023. Since then, the Fed has been keeping the FFR unchanged at 5.5%, and the wide interest rate differentials between Malaysia's overnight policy rate OPR and the FFR have led to the ringgit weakening. Against this backdrop, the ringgit continued to exhibit two-way movements with an overall marginal appreciation of 0.1% against the US dollar during the first quarter. However, the ringgit depreciated by 5.8% in the second quarter of 2023 as global developments continued to be the dominant factor in driving domestic financial conditions during the quarter. Bank Negara Malaysia or BNM said in the second quarter, market sentiments were dampened by concerns over a slower global economic outlook and a weaker than expected rebound in China's economy. In the third quarter, exchange rate developments were pressured by domestic financial conditions, driven mainly by evolving expectations on the global monetary policy path. In the fourth quarter, BNM stated that encouraging global developments and greater domestic political certainty after 1 year of the unity government led to a stronger ringgit against the US dollar. While the ringgit continues to be affected by global developments, Malaysia's expected economic growth in the range of 4 to 5%, as well as the structural reforms and fiscal consolidation efforts by the government, are supporting factors for the ringgit. As per its statutory mandate, Bank Negara Malaysia's Governor, Dato' Abdul Rashid Ghaffur, assured that BNM will do whatever is necessary to ensure the ringgit continues to adjust in an orderly manner, and several market measures will be deployed to boost the ringgit if needed. Elaborating further on the matter, he stressed that while the ringgit's level versus the US dollar had touched the Asian financial crisis level, However, he stressed the country is not in a crisis based on its strong fundamentals reflected by its economic growth and well-capitalized banking system, among others. He added that Malaysia has a solid banking system, a robust financial market, and business-friendly government policies to entice investors, all of which will provide more support for the ringgit. Malaysia's Producers Price Index PPI, which measures the prices of goods at the factory gate, continued its downtrend in November 2023 with a larger year-on-year contraction of 1.5% compared with 0.3% in October. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia DOSM, all sectors were in negative territory except for water supply, which recorded 1% growth. The mining sector saw the biggest drop last month at 4.7%, erasing October's 1% growth due to the decline in the indices for extraction of natural gas and extraction of crude petroleum. Chief Statistician Datuk Seri Muhammad Uzi Mahidin said the manufacturing sector continued to ease with a 1.4% contraction, dragged down by the manufacture of coke and refined petroleum products and manufacture of food product indices. Meanwhile, the agriculture, forestry and fishing sector swung to a 0.4% contraction from a growth of 3.8% in the previous month due to a 1.5% decline in the growing of perennial crops. The electricity and gas supply sector also shrank by 0.6%, which followed the 0.5% decrease in October. The Malaysian rubber market closed mixed today on lack of clear catalyst, despite the weaker ringgit against the US dollar. A dealer said market sentiment continued to be dominated by the prospect of major central banks globally to begin easing rates in 2024, led by the United States US Federal Reserves. However, further gains were capped by the mixed trend in the regional rubber futures market and losses in crude oil prices. Commenting further on the matter, the dealer said Japanese rubber futures opened flat today as optimistic sentiment stemming from robust industrial data and expectations of stimulus measures in China failed to lift prices. She added that oil prices also fell slightly, retreating from strong gains in the prior session that was due to supply disruptions in the Red Sea. Compared with the previous closing session, the Malaysian Rubber Board's MRB price for standard Malaysian rubber 20 (SMR20) was up by 1.5 cent to 6.86 ringgit per kilogram, while latex in bulk eased by 1.5 cent to 5.35 ringgit per kilogram. At 5 p.m., the reference price for physical SMR20 stood at 6.85 ringgit per kilogram, while latex in bulk was at 5.34 ringgit per kilogram. A Chinese media reported, quoting the Central Bank of Brazil, said the country's financial market maintained its 2023 economic growth forecast at 2.92%, but slightly upgraded the expected expansion in gross domestic product GDP in 2024 from 1.51% to 1.52%. In keeping with its latest focus survey of the country's top financial analysts, the Central Bank of Brazil also adjusted its inflation forecast from 4.49% to 4.46% for 2023 and from 3.93% to 3.91% for 2024. The forecasts fall within the National Monetary Council's target inflation of 3.25% this year and 3% next year, both with a margin of tolerance of 1.5 percentage points. Given the improved inflation scenario, financial analysts reduced their forecast for the base interest rate, currently at 11.75% annually, from 9.25% to 9% by the end of 2024. The South American country's currency, trading at 4.85 reals to the US dollars, is expected to trade at 4.9 reals to the dollars by the end of 2023 and 5 reals to the dollars by the end of 2024. Meanwhile, Brazil's trade balance is expected to see a surplus of $81.4 billion in 2023 and $71 billion in 2024. Foreign direct investment in the country was estimated at $60 billion in 2023 and $65 billion in 2024. Egypt's General Authority of the Suez Canal Economic Zone (SC Zone) said that it received investments worth $1.85 billion in the last 6 months. Walid Gamal Al-Din, chairman of the SC Zone General Authority, was quoted as saying in a statement issued by the Egyptian cabinet that 89 investment projects have received final and initial approval from the SC Zone since 1st July. Among them, 47 projects received final approval with a total investment of $941 million, while 42 projects received initial approval with an estimated total investment of $908 million. Eldin said 9 Chinese projects were among those that received final approvals, while projects that received initial approvals included 6 projects for Chinese companies in the field of manufacturing electrical appliances, manufacturing household products and cooking tools, extracting and separating minerals from black sand, and manufacturing various textiles. Established in August 2015, the SC Zone, covering an area of 461 square kilometers along the banks of the Suez Canal, is home to 6 ports and 4 development areas. The SC Zone aims to attract domestic and foreign investors by providing logistic and industrial services following international criteria. According to the General Authority of SC Zone, the zone attracted $2.5 billion of foreign investments from July 2022 to May 2023. Elsewhere, Iranian media reported, citing Minister for Economic Affairs and Finance, Ehsan Kandozi, that the country's foreign trade increased by 7% and hit as much as $112 billion in the past 9 months to 21st December. The report said Kandozi announced new figures by the Islamic Republic of Iran Customs Administration (IRICA) and added that IRICA's foreign trade figures included Iran's exchange of oil, electricity and technical and engineering services for the first time. The report cited Kandozi as saying that Iran's exports exceeded the country's imports by some $15 billion in the March-December period. The media also reported that in the said period, Iran exported $63 billion worth of oil and non-oil products, and the country's imports were $48 billion in goods. Volkswagen Passenger Cars Malaysia VPCM has issued a recall for 6 car models. It said in a statement that around 6,671 cars will be affected by the recall. The models involved are those produced between 2010 and 2014 that have been identified for inspections due to the recall. The affected models are the 6th generation Golf GTI, EOS, Passat CC, Polo, Beetle and Vento, which are equipped with a specific driver front airbag gas generator housing. VPCM, together with its distributor partners, have assured adequate spare parts supply. It added that the process will be done in stage to avoid disruption to users. Owners may visit VPCM's website and key in their 17-digit VIN number, which can be found at the bottom left of their vehicle's windscreen. Still ahead, 6 dead, tens of thousands hit in southern Thailand floods. Floods in southern Thailand have killed at least 6 people and affected tens of thousands of households, authorities said on Wednesday. The floods, which began on 22nd December, have hit more than 70,000 homes across the provinces of Satun, Songkhla, Pattani, Yala and Narathiwat, according to regional officials. Deputy Provincial Governor Pricha Nualnoy told the media that 6 people, including an 89-year-old woman and a toddler, were killed in Narathiwat. Another person was still missing following days of intense rain, which sparked floodwaters that reach around 3 meters in height in some places. Relief teams worked by night to hand out bottled water and snacks and check buildings for damage or casualties. Thailand's Departments of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation said the water level had reduced on Wednesday morning. Some rail services in Narathiwat province, which borders Malaysia, had resumed following days of closure due to track subsidence. The kingdom's rainy season typically brings months of daily deluges, but scientists said man-made climate change can make rainfall more intense. The momentum of the Christmas and New Year holiday is estimated to generate 120 trillion rupees, or about $7.7 billion for the national economy, according to Indonesia's Tourism and Creative Economy Minister Sandiaga Uno. The year-end holiday, he said, will contribute 80 trillion to 120 trillion rupees to the economy. According to the ministry's projection, the number of visitors to tourism destination during the Christmas and New Year holidays could reach 107 million to 110 million. Foreign tourist arrivals reached 9.5 million as of October this year, exceeding the government's target of 8.5 million, although the world travel industry has yet to fully recover after the COVID-19 pandemic. The minister stated that Indonesian destinations provide unique culinary experiences and visiting them can support the local economy. He, however, encouraged people to make the most of local tourism destinations as an alternative amid the surge in COVID-19 cases abroad. He also urged travellers to apply health protocols amid the surge in COVID-19 cases in some ASEAN countries. Coming up in sports, FAM hope Harimau Malaya can make last 16 at the Asian Cup finals. Stay with us. With about 2 weeks to go before the 2023 Asian Cup finals to begin, the Football Association of Malaysia (FAM) have finally broken their silence by saying that they hope the Harimau Malaya can roar to life and make history by advancing into the last 16 of the competition. FAM President Datuk Hamidin Muhammad Amin said it would be a remarkable achievement if Malaysia, who are set to make their 4th appearance in the Asian Cup finals, can qualify for the last 16 when the competition is held in Doha, Qatar from 12th January to 10th February next year. However, he admitted that Malaysia will face a tough hurdle since the team, under the guidance of head coach Kim Panggon, have been placed in Group E with Jordan, Bahrain and two-time champions South Korea.
Saya tiap kali mengatakan pada Coach Kim dan juga pemain yang pentingnya apabila perlawanan pada 15, 20 dan 25 nanti keadaan pasukan kita mustahak. Mana pasukan kita dalam keadaan top untuk bermain dan semua bermain apabila diturunkan 11 yang 16 pemain dalam keadaan mood dan performa yang tinggi.
Met on Tuesday, he said FAM's hopes are in sync with Panggon's desire to take world number 130 Malaysia into the knockout rounds in Doha, despite having to face the might of Jordan, world number 87, Bahrain 86, and South Korea 23rd. Only the winners and runners-up of each group, together with the 4 best third-place teams, will advance to the round of 16. And should Malaysia get in, they will make history after failing to get past the group stage in the last 3 editions, which they qualified for. Datuk Hamidin is also confident that the players chosen by Panggon this time are the best available to get the job done in Qatar. The Harimau Malaya squad will leave for Doha on New Year's Day and will open their Asian Cup Group E campaign against Jordan on 15 January before taking on Bahrain on the 20th and completing their group fixtures against South Korea on the 25th. According to Panggon, the Harimau Malaya team this time around is more balanced with a combination of youngsters, seniors and some experienced players. He said the decision to list some experienced players, including Paulo Josu, 34, Brendan Gunn, 35 and Natso Insa, 37, was to ensure that the team is more balanced in defence and attack and to use them to guide the young players in high-profile matches.
hopefully, I think experienced player, to run the team, use their experience to teach them something, guide them something, to make them calm, confidence. Of course, we learned something from last tournament that we shouldn't be overconfident. Sometimes we need to be very humble to approach. So that they also respect opponent's team. That's important. I think senior boys, I think they can, bring them up to international standard.
Panggung was met during the national team training camp at Wisma FAM Kelana Jaya. Malaysia, who ended their 42-year wait to qualify for the Asian Cup on merit, will face Jordan in the Group E opener before meeting Bahrain and favourites, as well as two-time champions South Korea in the final group match on 25th January. In the English Premier League, Liverpool climbed to the top of the league as Darwin Núñez ended his goalless drought to inspire a 2-0 win against Burnley. Rasmus Højlund, meanwhile, broke his own barren run to cap Manchester United's thrilling fight back to beat Aston Villa 3-2 on Boxing Day. Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool took an early lead through Núñez at the Turf Moor and held on despite wasting a host of chances. Núñez's 8th goal this season was his first for 12 games since he netted against Bournemouth in the League Cup on 1st November. Diego Jota, back from months injury absence, wrapped up the victory late on to leave Liverpool 2 points above second-place Arsenal, who have a game in hand. After successive draws with Manchester United and Arsenal prior to Christmas, this was an essential victory for Liverpool's title ambitions. Cristiano Ronaldo and Sadio Mane netted 2 goals apiece to help Al Nassr to a 5-2 win over Karim Benzema's Al Ittihad as they try to keep pace with Saudi Pro League leaders Al Hilal. Al Ittihad's Abderrazak Hamdallah kept his side in the match early with goals in the 14th minute to open the scoring. Both of Ronaldo's scores came on penalty kicks, the first in 19th minute equalising at 1-1. Brazilian Talisca gave Al Nassr the lead when he struck in the 38th minute. It wasn't until the 51st minute in the second half when Al Ittihad equalised as Hamdallah headed in from Igor Coronado's free kick. Ronaldo took the spot kick for his second penalty that gave Al Nassr a 3-2 lead in the 68th minute. Mane then put the match away for good, netting goals in the 75th and 82nd minute on perfectly timed passes from Brazilians Talisca and then Otavio. The victory moved the second-place Al Nassr to 43 points on the season, just 7 behind Edley Al Hilal. Al Ittihad sit down in 6th place on 28 points. Alright, so that's it from us this evening. In our top story, Malaysia, Thailand to boost development in connected regions. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thank you for watching.